The insult came so fast it felt like a slap. You make your son skip meals for a woman who can't even hear you? That's pathetic. Nurse Collins's words echoed through the bright hospital hallway, freezing Marlene Walker mid-step. The 59-year-old black mother stood still, one hand clutching a paper bag that held the lunch she planned to give her daughter-in-law, still unconscious after the crash. Marlene's eyes flicked to the food, then to the nurse blocking the door. Her breathing tightened. The nurse smirked. People like you don't belong in a facility like this. Marlene didn't answer, but her silence wasn't surrender. Something in her posture hinted that Collins had just made a mistake she couldn't take back. The hum of machines behind the door pulled the story forward as Marlene took one slow step toward the room. Every day for the last 18 months, Marlene had walked through this hallway with the same steady determination. She knew every crack in the tile, every flicker of fluorescent light. And every day, Collins found a new way to chip at her dignity. Today's comment, though, cut deeper than usual, because it was true that Marlene had made her son skip a few meals. Not out of cruelty, but out of a fierce, desperate love for the woman lying frozen in time behind that door. A love the nurses outside the black community would never understand. She remembered the night the bill came in and the insurance denial followed like a punch. Her son, Jordan, stared at the numbers, shoulders shaking. "Mom, how do we do this?" She had placed a hand on his back. "We save her, $1 at a time." They chose to cut corners everywhere. Some days, Jordan pushed away his sandwich untouched so they could afford another test, another vial of medication. Collins noticed the skipped lunches and turned it into gossip. "Look at them," she whispered loudly to another nurse. "Starving themselves, typical." A tiny detail broke her heart that morning. The lunch she packed for Jordan had been tossed in the trash, still sealed. Collins had thrown it out, claiming it smelled poor. Marlene retrieved it quietly, wiping mustard off the lid with trembling hands. No one helped. Eyes turned away. It was humiliation layered with racism, and she carried it silently. But Jordan's wife, Serena, had shown tiny signs of improvement that week. Finger twitches, a lingering breath, miracles born from stubborn hope. Marlene refused to let Collins's cruelty stop her from stepping into the room. She gripped the door handle with calm, deliberate force. "What would you do if this happened to you?" she wondered aloud as her voice barely above a whisper as she pushed the door open. Collins grabbed her arm. "Stop! You don't get in until the bill is paid, all of it." Her voice sharpened into a blade. "People like you waste resources. You should have let her go months ago." Marlene froze. The words weren't just racist. They were meant to crush her. She felt the weight of every skipped meal, every late-night worry, every quiet sacrifice. Collins leaned closer. "You starved your own son for a woman who'll never wake up. That's who you are." For a moment, the hallway shrank around her. Machines beeped behind the glass. The world grew tight and airless. Collins stepped forward, believing she had finally broken her. "You can't pay. You can't stay. You're done here." But she didn't know the truth. Truth Marlene had held close, waiting for the right moment. Collins pushed again. "Do you hear me? Leave." And then a new voice cut the air in half. "No, she's not leaving," Jordan said, stepping into the corridor with a man in a suit beside him. His face, younger but carved with exhaustion and conviction, held none of the fear Collins expected. Something shifted in the atmosphere, a quiet signal that power was about to turn. The man in the suit handed Collins a folder. Her face drained as she read. Jordan's voice stayed calm. "My mother didn't starve me. I skipped those meals because Serena deserved a chance. And every penny you said we owed, she already paid it. My mother funded every treatment." Collins stuttered. "What do you mean funded?" Marlene finally spoke. "Check the second page." Her eyes widened. The Walkers weren't just patients. They were the anonymous donors whose support kept the entire rehabilitation wing open. Her legs wobbled. Jordan stepped closer. "You insulted the person who saved your job." Collins tried to speak, but no sound came out. Marlene looked past her toward Serena's room. "Care has no color," she said softly, "but hate always shows." As the nurse was escorted away, Marlene opened the door. Serena's hand moved. Just a tiny twitch, but real. Marlene smiled, a quiet, knowing smile. The world didn't need to know everything. Some truths belonged only to those who had earned them. The hallway, once hostile, now felt wider, like justice had opened a window somewhere inside it.